When we talk Lebanon, we talk to Rami Khouri, political analyst and senior fellow at Harvard Kennedy School, joining us on Skype from Connecticut today. Rami, always a pleasure to see you. What happens now?
What happens now is what's been happening for the last 5 or 10 years, which is a small group of aging men in Lebanon quarrel with each other and try to maintain themselves in positions of authority in a country where they actually have no real authority over anything other than themselves and their guards and their business partners, because the country is collapsing economically. The institutions of the state are imploding. The economy is bankrupt. Basic problems for every family now are felt every day, and they're getting worse and worse and worse, while these men at the top of the system are still quarreling over who's going to name which minister to which ministry. It's really, it's more than just irresponsible. It's infantile and it's criminal in the eyes of the vast majority of Lebanese people, and nobody seems to be able to know how to budge them. The French have tried, the Saudis have tried, the Americans have tried. Nobody knows how to make this group of men who run the country of Lebanon, to make them more responsible. And we are going to see some kind of reaction on the streets for sure, demonstrations, burning tires, things of blocking roads, things of that nature, mostly peaceful, non-violent stuff, but showing the intense anger of the population. And it's really not just anger and frustration and pain, but dehumanization. The Lebanese, I was in Lebanon 10 days ago for a 10-day visit. The Lebanese are dehumanized. They feel that they're being treated like animals by their own political leadership. And they just don't know what to do. And so it's an unprecedented situation, and it's going to continue because of this latest move.
So let's talk more about the economic side of things. You raised that, Rami, the fact that effectively the economy's in free fall. I've just got some graphics I want to show to our viewers really quickly just to illustrate this. So this is the official Lebanese cash rate, if you like, the exchange rate with the US dollar. Look at it there. $1 gets you officially 1,500 Lebanese pounds. That's why this line here is a complete straight line and always has been. It's pegged to the US dollar. But because of inflation, because of the fact that so much is imported, because of the fact that there's no hard US currency, this is the actual reality. Yeah, 1,500 pounds to the US dollar back here at the start of 2019, but all it has done then is head upwards to the point where we are now, upwards of 20,000 pounds to the US dollar, and that period is 2.5 years. Rami, how do people survive like that when their money one day is worth X amount and the next day it's worth X times 2 or X minus 2? You can't go on like that.
You can't. And what happens is, this has happened in other countries. What happens is people start consuming fewer items, consuming fewer expensive items, consuming fewer imported items. They start planting their own vegetables and fruits. Many of them already do anyway. They resort to barter economy. They'll do a job for somebody who in turn will give them a kilo of rice or something like that. It's going back to a primitive state of life. It's not quite caveman and cavewoman life, but it's going back to a system where the currency-based trade-oriented labor market economy doesn't function anymore. You end up with a barter economy, and people adapt every time this happens. They don't have an option. The wealthy people, the upper middle income people, or people who have a second passport can leave, and many of them have, and many of them will do so. But the vast majority of Lebanese cannot leave.
But what about
they
all
just
those...
figure out...
Sorry, Rami, all those, as you put it in your first answer, the old men in suits who are running things, are they insulated from this sort of thing? Are they living an easy life? Because, I mean, this is surely the type of thing which should be permeating all levels of society.
Well, this is the issue. They're totally detached from the lives of ordinary people. They're detached physically. They live in beautiful homes. They have electricity 24 hours, lots of water, lots of food, whatever imported medicine they need, they have it all. They don't feel the physical pain that the average Lebanese is feeling, but they also don't have any empathy really for the vast majority of their fellow Lebanese. They don't seem to care that the vast majority are in poverty now and suffering real pain to the point where we've had reports of babies dying because simple medicine wasn't available anymore. And this is what angers the average Lebanese, that their political leadership doesn't care about them, doesn't see them as human beings worthy of certain basic rights. And this kind of move that was done today by Hariri is typical, and by Aoun, the president. They don't care. They'll postpone the new government another 3, 4, 5 months, which is likely to happen. And even then, with a new government, they're probably not going to be able to make the reforms needed to unlock the billions of international aid and investment and loans. So nobody can see how this is going to be resolved. And my impression has been, continues to be, that the key to all of this is how Hezbollah reacts, because Hezbollah is stronger than all the other sectarian, the Christian and the Sunni and the Druze and etc. It's stronger than all of them, and it can trigger an agreement among them to become more serious if it wants to. It hasn't shown any indication that it wants to do that yet. It supports the system as it is now. But if all of Lebanon collapses, Hezbollah is put in a much more vulnerable situation, and they don't want that.
The word on the real Lebanon, real life there with Rami Khouri. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.